I wish you were here. Alexander. Alexander. Alexander.
Cosima! Wait! Mother! Mother, come quick!
Alexander, what on earth? You're white as a ghost.
Mother, I saw Cosima. She was in the mirror.
In the mirror? The magic mirror?
Yes! And it showed me how to find her.
How?
The stars! I saw the stars outside her window. I can navigate by the stars.
Oh, Alexander, if you really go...
It will be all right, Mother. I promise.
Tickets only. Next.
Say no more. You are smitten with a maiden, are you not? What other than love could so confuse a man's tongue?
I'm afraid so. It is Princess Cosima.
By the desert sands, when you fall in love, you do not mess around, do you?
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you? What nameless thing has captured me and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee? The name of love cannot apply. Its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you.
A little close to home, that one.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I presume.
My God,
I'm afraid
that
I'm
voice.
unfamiliar with your country, but I'm sure Wazir Al-Hazred will want to meet you, if indeed you are a friend of the princess.
As was her parents' wish, Cosima and I are to be wed. We shall rule the kingdom together. I assure you, our marriage is all Cosima wants now. As a prince and a gentleman, it would be best that you leave before there is any further embarrassment.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Considering the poor condition of the shore, it looks like the easiest way to get into the water is just to jump off the pier. The powerful currents grab Alexander. Struggle as he might, he feels himself being pulled out to sea.
Not a very good swimmer, are you?
Help me!
Sorry, I think not.
As his head submerges for the third time, Alexander finds himself pondering the wisdom of going out on a limb for a stranger. A small hatch leads down into the dark cargo area. An old canvas bag full of sand hangs off the side of the boat. It was most likely used as a bumper when docking the boat against the pier, but it's rather pointless now.
It's weird. I don't remember there
That's
being
strange.
no
The young
dialogue
boy
for that
in
part,
the
do
water
you?
just disappeared. Oh well.
It might be something that
perhaps he
like
just
exists in
dove
the
under
text
water.
version, but was not recorded for
Oh,
the
you
voice
know what? That
version.
must be why.
Yeah, what do you want? Go away, the ferry's out of business.
A worn wooden vessel has been dry docked on a jetty. The boat is in sad shape. A hole in the hull and the condition of its boards make it obvious that the vessel is no longer seaworthy. Rising from the deck of the ferry, the sturdy wooden mast almost pierces the sky. The boat has been dry docked upon a sandy bar. It's not going anywhere. A decrepit pier juts out into the sea. The waters in this cove appear calm, but there's a dimpling pattern to the surface which indicates an undertow. A deserted beach lies behind the ferry.
The undertow is literally just there, so you can't go anywhere.
Alexander is standing at the island's docks. Both the pier and the only boat in sight are in sad repair.
God, there's so many things.
Alexander rocks.
Rocks!
A long loose rope from the sails drags in the sea. It's partially rotted from long neglect. A worn wooden, a small hat. The sea surrounds the island and spreads out to the horizon.
Is this the decrepit
A
rope?
long loose...
Yeah,
the
it
boat
is.
has been...
Okay.
I said the ferry's out of business. What do you want to keep bothering me for?
Alexander's certain the ferryman's face has been weathered by the sea air and by worry. He's definitely out of sorts. He glares at Alexander in a most suspicious and unfriendly manner. Alexander eats the
No!
Right in front of him.
Go away! The ferry's out of business!
Alexander...
Well, hold on. I would like to stare at you some more.
I said the
Would you perhaps be interested in this?
Nope, I'm not interested. Now go away. The ferry's not running, and I don't like strangers hanging around my property.
Alexander... That...
I just
Alexander...
love annoying him. I remember as a kid being stuck here for a while and not knowing how to get him to let us do stuff.
I said the ferry's out of business.
Alexander...
Excuse me. My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside. What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
The accents are so fascinating. Like, they're sort of vaguely Moorish, you know, and then Al-Hazard has the accent, Cosima does not. This guy says Allie instead of like Al. I mean, it's very interesting choices here.
It's a bit inconsistent.
Given Manananan, we know it wasn't entirely like
several
on the
oil
same page.
lamps are strategically placed around the boat's cabin to illuminate the island's dark nights.
I mean, we heard Mananan in 5, right?
We did.
Okay.
The ferryman's bunk looks hard
Back
and
to
uncomfortable.
the wizard
No wonder he
Mananan.
can be so cranky. Alexander is sitting inside the ferry's cabin. The place displays the neatness of a seaman and the sparseness of a bachelor. There are few frills and comforts in the rough wooden environment, but the sunlight shines cheerily on the oaken beams, and the portholes admit a pleasant breeze.
What do you think this guy does all day?
Just does this.
Several oil lamps are strategically placed around the boat's cabin to illuminate the island's dark nights.
This room has the energy of just humming Blow the Man Down to yourself for hours on end.
While rubbing his rabbit's foot.
Several oil. A black pot-bellied stove in the corner provides warmth on the cool tropical nights and a means for cooking. There's a rabbit's foot on the table. It seems the ferryman is counting on a little luck.
Like, other people would say stuff to you, but this guy just stares at
The
you.
ferryman is a disgruntled-looking man who is probably a lot younger than he appears. Despite his tired air, he watches Alexander patiently.
He's going to have a long talk with Ali about this weirdo he sent over
Alexander
here.
is...
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then
How
this
salty
unrest
he
is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
There's real peas in that magic map.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry
What's up
Queen
with this guy's
Ilaria
5 o'clock
and
shadow
Princess
going all the way
Cosima
down below his
themselves.
Adam's apple?
There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cosima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
Always got to make sure we know who's pretty and who's not.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer
She was
operates?
sad, but she was so
Me?
pretty.
I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
That's honestly, like, so sad. Like,
Yeah.
he just... That's it. Like, it's over for him.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about Princess Cosima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen, they served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
We got a royalist here.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
The ferryman.
What else can you tell me?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
What else can you tell me?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can you...
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next. Of course, that's just silly talk.
Yeah.
What else can you
Super
tell
silly.
me about...
Let's see.
Alright, I think that's everything. Let's see.
Magnets affect the soul.
Would you be interested in this ring?
I don't need charity. I won't take nothing from no man till I get back in business and can earn my own keep.
It's quite a change from past King's Quests.
Would you be...
Nah, what need is a poor dry-docked ferryman for that?
I should have kept my coin to give it to him.
Would you...
Nah.
You probably would have said the same
Here's
thing,
a dollar, you
Would you
poor.
be a...
Nah.
There's a rabbit.
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
Did you ever have a rabbit's foot as a kid?
I did.
I did.
I did too, and I'm just sitting here thinking about it like, oh my god, like...
It's really morbid.
Yeah,
is.
like, it was a whole fucking foot, like a creature's foot. I mean, wow. I don't know if that just has fallen out of favor, or if it was a 90s thing, like, because I don't feel like I've seen one since that time.
It feels like something that's like comes more out of like, you know, leatherworking and like taxidermy, and it more so like animal rights have kind of like definitely pushed it out of like being something that's kept up.
I had a rabbit's foot. It was red. And I thought, wow, this is an interesting little trinket. I thought, but it's not a real rabbit's foot. And then, like, I lost it for a long time. And when I found it, the fur had come off of it and it was bone. And it was a real foot.
No, I knew it was real because of how soft it was, or mine anyway, how soft it was. But that's horrifying. Oh my god. Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I'm thinking back to something that the shopkeeper said about the only wizard on the island having turned himself into an aardvark. And do you think that was voluntary?
I was wondering if
No.
that was meant to be,
Like it was most likely a magical accident. But I was like thinking like, probably just a furry. It's fine.
See,
Are aardvarks furry?
I'm not, anthropomorphic is what I mean.
are they technically? Wow, okay, so we still. Alright, I guess I have to do this.
Good day.
Alexander takes a mint.
That's right, I forgot I'd eaten it in front of him.
Alexander decides to be friendly and offer the old man a mint.
Would you care for a mint, sir?
No, thank you. I'll get my own mint from the dish when I want one.
But it's all the way over there.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
So, first of all, we need a Discord emote of the genie with the sparkling golden eye, instead of the red. Just when he's looking at the side, it's like clean. And then also, I wonder why he wouldn't use it himself.
The shopkeeper, why he wouldn't use it?
Yeah, I mean, if he's, such a tough man or whatever.
Well, because then who would tend the shop?
I guess so.
Would you be interested in...
No, leave me alone.
For no apparent reason, Alexander's flesh crawls at the mere thought of touching the old man.
Lord, if that isn't a mood. No, leave me alone!
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know.
Aww.
Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you. You are very kind, and I'll remember about the map.
Once again, I like the foreshadowing that you can bring him something of equal value and get your ring back.
The old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar.
I feel like previous King's Quest games wouldn't give you that.
Yeah.
The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
The I shit my pants walk.
Master, I was observing in the village as you wished, and I saw a danger. No, a stranger there. He says, "What? He's Prince Blamentander of Slaventry. You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that. Yes, master. Now, who did this stranger say he was? Prince Salamander of Pageantry, I think. You idiot! Are you trying to tell me that Prince Alexander of Daventry is here? Confound it! That's the young man Cassima met at Mordak's castle. The timing could not be worse. Tell me, what is he doing? He was in the pawn shop buying a magic smap. Magic smap? What is this magic smap? With the smap, he can travel to other islands. Master. That's a map, you dolt! Oh, drat it all. I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up. Not now! Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Now I'm confused because I thought that this was the file I did where I introduced myself.
No,
I thought so too.
You went back and you did it without because you wanted to like RP that you were being stealthy.
No, but I've been saving this whole time. I thought...
Well, the evidence is in front of us.
No, it isn't, because the reason everything has been kicking whatever was so that I would know that this was the kicking the door in file where I went up to the castle so that I could then reload and not do that and then do the rest of it. So did I fuck that up?
My recollection was that you went to the alternate save file after we discussed like how you preferred to do it.
You know what? There's a way to find out.
I mean, you can't get into the castle because you traded your ring.
Shit, that's right.
But if you go talk to them, they'll still call you Prince Alexander if you've shown them the ring.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
I'm a scientist. We understand these things.
Alexander firmly addresses the guards at the Castle of the Crown, determined to get an audience with Cassima.
Good day, guard dogs. I am Prince Alexander of Daventry, and I would like...
Prince Alexander of Daventry? He's the one, Wolf.
See here now. We've been warned about you. Wazir al-Hazred has issued strict orders that you're not to be allowed anywhere near the castle.
Me? But...
Oh my god.
But I haven't even met the Wazir.
Never mind your excuses. You're on our list of undesirables and will not be getting into the castle today or any day. Now off with you.
You're locked out of those points, Buster.
Didn't I tell you that I knew I was going to fuck this?
On the bright side, we got to show our audience the great little scene with Al-Hazred talking to his genie spy when he hasn't been introduced to you in the throne room already.
You can always just restart. We're not that far into it.
What did I even do here? Did I not see her? Did I see the Vizier? Fuck this. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Are you sure you want to...
I'm gonna click through everything so fast, nobody's gonna notice. You can trust me. You're in good hands.
We've been recording for nearly 2 hours and we're restarting the game.
Jesus Christ.
You don't need to delete it.
I do. I do.
A full purge.
Yes. Alright, well I don't have to do anything but click, so...
So here's a point of discussion while we are blitzing through dialogue. Like, King's Quest has this tradition where you just talk and then they kind of like handles a whole conversation on your behalf. How do you feel about that design-wise versus a lot of other games where you actually have to do dialogue trees? Because they're both very different approaches.
Perhaps
I'm going to
Alexander
differ
should
so
learn a
strongly
little
from
more
Suha
about
here.
where he is before offering his family heirloom to total strangers.
They're just completely different experiences. I love that I don't have any control over how Alexander or like the King's Quest families are because oh wow, hold on a minute.
Perhaps Alexander should learn a little more about where he is before offering his family heirloom to total strangers.
I've just never seen that dialogue. Anyway, part of the thing I love about King's Quest is how like sort of stick in the mud stuffy sometimes the family can be. But I also really enjoy being able to choose ridiculous dialogue options for Guybrush, so I feel like both of them have their place and they're both really great, and I'm honestly not sure that I could choose. But
interesting.
maybe,
See, I thought you would have been all in on dialogue trees.
I like them, but I guess because I'm someone who's determined to see all of the dialogue, and so it creates a lot of work for me as a player when I go through all of them if they don't make it simple. But,
Lord, what? Pardon this.
But I mean, same for the writer also, because like if you need to actually like handle all the branching dialogue, then it's tremendously more work.
Yeah. I mean, it might just be that my love for King's Quest is making me like if I played a current adventure game now.
I have been instructed not to let you into the castle again. Good day, my lord.
I just had to listen to him talk. Anyway, maybe if I was playing an adventure game now and it was just making me sit and listen and I couldn't choose to do anything, I would maybe not like it. I mean, like, I probably would do dialogue trees for mine. So I suppose that would really be the answer. Maybe I just love King's Quest.
See, my favorite form of dialogue is kind of a hybrid of the two, which is Quest for Glory. Because Quest for Glory gives you dialogue trees, but it's not dialogue trees in the sense of Monkey Island. Like with Monkey Island, you can be presented with like 5 different options, and you click one, and the conversation continues, and you don't get to go back to the other ones because they were all just responses to a certain thing. You know what I mean? Whereas with Quest for Glory, the dialogue tree is very much just topics you can ask about, and you can ask about them repeatedly. So, like, I feel like it's a really good blend of Sierra style. The talk icon is driving the conversation, but also giving you some options as far as what you want to inquire on.
Good, mind you, this there.
Because that's ultimately what I don't like about the Monkey Island approach, is that there's so many options. And first off, I tend to get impatient, but also you just cannot select all of them because oftentimes the options, like, you choose one and they're gone. And that just bothers me. I like to hear it all.
Well, with Return to Monkey Island, it's a lot of work to get to those dialogue options. And I did it because my sister and I were playing together. And we could take like 15 minutes to play through and get back to it. But
I have to imagine you had to do a lot of saving and reloading to get them all.
We sure did. And we had to replay certain sequences again and again. All right, just...
Alex, excuse... Yes,
Sorry, I just want to give him the coin.
What is it?
Well, we have the opportunity. Might as well.
Yeah.
I have this copper coin. Would you be interested?
I wouldn't feel right taking your money without a ferry ride to offer you for it.
Damn it. I was really hoping he would be like, oops.
Why? Why?
I'm so sorry. It's okay. We can just cut this part in the recording, right? Nobody will notice.
But I still want to have this conversation about dialogue trees.
Oh no, we will. You just cut this part, so nobody will know. It'll be seamless. I'm really good at this game and at playing games for people. you do not regret this. This is a very enjoyable experience for everyone.
I do not regret this. This is a very enjoyable experience.
Exactly. But could you one more time? I want to I want to believe it.
Alexander.
I do not regret this. This is a very enjoyable experience.
Thank you. Didn't you want to hear Captain Saladin one last time?
Always.
The first syllable of everything that he says.
Yeah.
The guard.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I please.
Please. Jeez.
Don't forget to get the poem as well again.
Oh, yeah. Shamir's head like a tennis match. Also, Saladin deciding he's not going to kill me after all. Good shit.
You have had your hearing with Wizir al-Hazred. I trust you will respect his wishes and not return. I have been instructed not to let you into the castle again. Good day, my lord.
Well, you have to respect him straight up telling you, like, get the fuck out, don't come back, you know, but sort of civilly.
Alexander.
Alright, here we go. Here we go. This file's gonna be so good, you guys. We're just gonna get right back to where we were.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Good.
I'm so embarrassed that happened that way.
Good day.
I reloaded because in my mind I was like, oh, I did it wrong, even though it doesn't matter. I had just forgotten. It's funny, these conversations were so boring to me when I was little, but now as an adult, I don't mind them at all.
What?
That narrator.
A lot of it is just like exposition.
Yeah. Well, as an adult, I can be like, oh wow, they did a good job explaining, you know, this thing and that thing. But as a kid, it was like, oh, I have to get through this conversation. It's not funny.
I just want to get to the Isle of Wonder already.
Exactly. Okay, so this looks bad, but I actually did almost nothing and took so long to do it that this is not a big deal.
we are savoring this game, so it is fine.
Yeah.
It's just the pressure of performing for the saving of an audience.
Yes,
you know, they're so demanding.
What is?
We're all savoring it together, don't worry.
So back to talking about, you know, dialogue trees. I think that with Quest for Glory, it helps like with the whole options with like just letting you inquire about things at your leisure. It helps for a blank slate protagonist. One thing that
merchant, but
feel very mixed about
As a
with
matter of
Quest for Glory's approach is that in the like dummy icon versions where it just gives you the list on there, it doesn't feel very engaging in a way where it feels like an organic conversation. Whereas like if it's the parser versions where you actually type in the questions you're asking, it feels a lot more responsive and immersive.
That is true.
But that's entirely a user interface issue and not something that's like inherent to the design.
Would you be willing?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No.
Daventry.
Prince Alex, she is a beautiful dream.
The ring.
Then you know, if you...
I love what he calls Prince
and
Alex.
a warning
Very
about
cute.
the...
Thank you.
Suddenly, the old man's...
The creepy, dangerous old man takes a mint like a total weirdo.
He steals it, even though they're free.
Yeah.
So here's the alternate version of this cutscene.
Master! I followed Prince Alexander as you wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just abstained, just reprieved. He just got a magic map.
You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that.
Yes, Master.
Now, what is this about a magic map?
With the map, Prince Alexander could travel anywhere as quickly as I can.
I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now.
Did they really use that phrase
yourself and
twice?
Listen carefully, Shamir.
They're very
Go
proud
to
of it.
the other islands and tell them.
Buy my fake Arab blade. See, I prefer the other cutscene for so many reasons, but
yeah.
we do get magic smap. Actually, I don't think we get anything good out of that one. I just remembered
we
that
get
as
nothing good out
quickly
of
as
that
I
one.
can from that one. I had always remembered the other cutscene for whatever reason.
In the other one, we get both Magic Smap and Prince Salamander of Pageantry.
Yes. Yeah, sure, why not?
A nightingale perches on a high branch of the tree. She sings the most beautiful song Alexander has ever heard.
Can you send the love poem, before you do anything else?
Oh, absolutely you can.
Alexander
No, I mean, I'm
waters the
asking Suha if she can.
nightingale and places it on the ground.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it now, but I'll try it.
No, you can do it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know that
It's just
hers.
you're just gonna have to restore your game.
I don't think
You're gonna have to restore.
But I don't think that we'll. I think we have to talk to Jalo before you can see anything.
The mechanical nightingale sings a sweet, tinny tune.
It does say tinny
the real
tune.
nightingale in the tree
Okay.
cocks her head and listens intently.
Cox.
The nightingale
Thank you,
flies to
Beavis.
a lower branch and looks at Alexander curiously, as if she were deciding that this human might not be so bad.
You said Cox.
It's been too long since we've made a puerile joke.
I know. This game has not given us many chances. Okay, let's see.
The nightingale looks at Alexander.
Sorry.
The nightingale sings her crystalline song in the boughs of the old tree. The nightingale looks at Alexander curiously, as though waiting for something.
Let me... No.
Yeah, save and try giving the poem.
Let me just see something also really quick before I do that. Oh. Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
I will be right up.
Do you want me to do it like this, or do you want me to just... You know what? Here, I'll just...
It doesn't matter.
Alexander holds out the poem to the nightingale. To Alexander's surprise, the nightingale swoops down and grabs the page from his hand.
Snake's glitton.
The nightingale flies off towards the castle with the poem. Where might she be taking it?
Okay.
Huh, so you don't see the response unless you've talked to Jalo?
Yep. Because you have no idea otherwise what the point of that was.
I see.
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that the pawn shop owner dumped into the pot. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb. Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy.
There's one thing Zelda taught us. It is that a small, empty bottle will always be handy.
Hello.
Always. Although you can't do anything here with Jalo, you realize.
What can I do for you?
Oh. Let's see.
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Excuse me again, sir. You mentioned the princess.
I told you I'm not interested in talking to strangers.
But I too am worried about the princess. We could worry together.
We could start a
Can I
club.
interest you in this?
Hey, I'm a clown, not a dramatist. You keep it.
Okay, what else are you,
Can I interest you in this?
No thanks. I
Wow.
find mint rather repulsive.
I'm a clown, not a chef.
Can I
No thank you. Please let me read in peace, stranger.
Oh my god, he winks.
Can I
Oh, shit, sorry, I didn't think
Can
he was
I
gonna say something new.
I have no desire to leave the island right now.
Can I
No, thank you.
I wonder if I can show the innkeeper not the innkeeper, wow, the fairy guy, the ferryman, the map.
Can I interest?
No,
I feel like that's everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have any interest in this magic map?
I'm afraid I travel very little. I just do not have time to with all the reading I do.
Imagine giving that away. Wait a minute. Is he gonna stay there? Okay.
Good.
Now I'm nervous. I feel like I should just...
So the reason that Suha is nervous here, for those who are not familiar with King's Quest VI, is that that man is Jallo, and he shows up at the bookshop a few different times, and befriending him and doing his dialogue is pretty important to completing the game. And it is possible to get yourself in a state where he is gone and you cannot, like, befriend him. And if that happens, then by the end of the game, you're stuck.
Alexander sorts through the odds and magic near the...
Uh-oh. The music's fucked up.
Alexander...
Okay.
Good solution.
Okay, good. There we go.
Man, it's occurring to me as we play this that I have too much respect for King's Quest VI to do the voice change gags like I did in the King's Quest V videos.
Oh, I hope you'll do. Those were so funny.
Oh, it's you. Come on in. How goes it, Alexander?
That's nice somebody actually asked how I'm doing, but imagine, I just like imagining him sitting in this chair without Alexander there, with the music playing, just doing nothing day after day.
Would you be at all interested in this?
Nah, what need is...
Well, damn, okay.
Everyone's always asking who is Prince Alexander, and nobody ever asks how is Prince Alexander.
What is it?
The pier need
not be altered. You know what? No, I traditionally always go from that first speech, and that's what I'm going to do.
Uh-huh.
It's just not right. Now, if I don't go in there, it's fine, right? Like, I don't, you know.
I mean, I don't know the exact, like, specifications of the code, but I assume you'll be fine.
The sand.
Hide that, nobody can find my box.
I don't know why, but it's very important to me to put it back. Okay.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
There it is. There's the line.
Here we go,
No, this
lads.
is the line.
Okay, here we go. So I'll go. You know what? Traditionally, I always go here first.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Ah, that's the one.
Just making try out all my shit. Oh wait, actually, hold on.
Alexander opens the bargain book and reads a paragraph at random.
Let's see if it'll make sense to me now.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard.
Phew, what an incredibly boring book. No wonder the bookshop owner wanted to get rid of it so badly.
That's all they have. We have, right? Like, they don't give us...
Alexander.
Oops. No, sorry. Thought I had the book. We don't get any extra text from that book, do we? Or do you have to read it?
I don't think so. I think only when you're using it as you're supposed to.
Okay.
Alexander.
2 dulcimers.
You should save your game and try to go up into that forest.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Phew.
So let me try that again.
I don't understand what you mean by death.
I don't either. Oh, well, hold on.
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be Alexander.
Can't believe I did that. That was
A
good.
string of letters floats in the water. The letters spell out, "Where are you going?" Alexander's heard of alphabet soup, but this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
A string. Alexander picks up the object. Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
So I never thought of it as incomplete when I was younger.
One of the oysters is sitting up in bed and doesn't look very happy. He seems to be the only one who can't sleep. In the oyster's mouth, Alexander can see a glint of white. Oyster beds line the seashore. Most of the oysters are sound asleep.
I have to do my look at everything homework, and then I get to die.
The blue ocean stretches on
I mean,
for as far
explore.
as Alexander can see.
Explore, yeah.
Large craggy boulders lie on the beach as though pushed up from the sea by giant hands. Alexander is standing on a rocky beach. To the north is dense tropical vegetation. Near the shore are a dozen or so oyster beds.
I thought that was something that was just Z's in the background.
Large to the north. To the
And that's about everything. Okay.
All right, let's go explore that forest.
Alexander hears someone coming.
Well, this music sounds slightly different than I remember it.
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If mad it be, then mad it dies. Old Control, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
I feel like I should actually do this when I have more things. But I'll just do this first one.
A gnome with a huge nose stands before Alexander. 4 gnomes stand waiting in line.
You know what?
Well, we gotta see what happens.
Alright.
Oops.
My nose cannot be tricked that way. The smell of man still rules the day. A man, so say our nose, into the waiting sea he goes.
Imagine you got murdered by these guys.
I know.
I mean, I think that this is exactly how it would go if I was in the situation.
The gnomes toss Alexander too far out into the sea for him to get his footing. The currents drag him under.
Well, that was quick.
Tickets only. Next.
Guess those gnomes couldn't reach a consensus.
Oh.
Delightful.
One of the
Anyway.
In the
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
So cute.
What's wrong with your mouth?
No offense, but it hurts too much to talk.
What's
wrong with you?
Have a mint.
That won't do any. That won't.
Alright, just had to try.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great.
It's so cute.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard.
Wild beast.
I guess this scene proves that they're
Yields
boots.
a gilded minnow of precise measurements, 2,069 centidrills by 3,023 6/7 puns, not punts, as might be expected. This is not to say, however, in any sense whatsoever, that deviations in mean temperature of 5 or 6 dregs or so
God bless Robbie Benson reading this shit. Like, I have no idea how he did
indicate a
it.
fabrication or derivation sufficiently broad enough to exacerbate the conclusions uncovered in due course with regards to the dimensions, consistency, mass, or thickness inherent in the menial suckling grouse.
Oh, wow. I did not realize that last one was so long.
The poor little oyster falls into an uneasy sleep, though it's clear he is still not resting easy. Alexander decides to leave him to his nap. Alexander does...
Too bad.
Alexander...
I believe you're doomed now.
No.
How so?
You didn't get the pearl.
Hold on.
I guess you're right.
What's wrong?
You see, David, that's why it can't
Would you
sleep.
like me to read to you again?
Hey, that would be good.
Okay, I just wanted to see if he was going to say anything different.
If you're having
Hey!
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
In this house, we get the pearl on the first fucking try. So I had to reload.
Hey, you fixed my mouth! It feels great!
Oh, the little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
That is just so fucking cute. I love it. You know, I should just make a new one.
So I have a kind of answer to an earlier
flawless
question.
Pearl is the largest Alexander's ever seen.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm leafing through my childhood copy of the King's Quest VI hint book. And you know, in the beginning of the hint books, they have like backstory for the games.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this book, assuming that this is written, it's written in universe, and assuming it's written at the time of King's Quest VI, it starts by saying, in this, the 25th year of good King Graham's reign. So Graham has ruled over Daventry for 25 years. If we assume that within, what would we say, like maybe within the first year, he decided to go and find Valanice?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a year after that is when the twins were born.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexander is 18 years old in King's Quest III. So that puts this at 25 years since Graham started. And Alexander came home 20 years after he became king. So if you put that together, then he's been home for 5 years.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a certain amount of variance depending on like how much we assume the time there was between, you know, becoming king and finding Valanice and the children being born. But I think that the games tend to assume that there's been at least enough time that Alexander's had a chance to bond.
Okay, hold on. I see. You're saying that it's been 5 years since he came home from Manannan, and then maybe Mordak kidnapped him, and then a couple months later this happened. Not that it's been 5... Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because there's an indeterminate amount of time between like the events of King's Quest IV and the events of King's Quest V. We know that 6 takes place a few years or a few months after 5.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense to me,
and that's
actually.
Just going by the hint book.
No, I mean, even if they forgot or decided to disregard it, I could see that.
Alexander turns the pearl slowly in his hand and sees its opaque white hue melt into iridescent colors.
There needs to be enough time for Alexander to discover how much he likes green tunics. That's essential.
Alexander shakes the bottle and imagines he hears a faint swishing sound, but decides he is mistaken. Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty. Alexander is carrying, oddly enough, a sentence. It says, "Where are you going?" Alexander already has a pretty good grasp on his words. Alexander decides to open the empty ink bottle.
It's stuck. It's... Whoa! The ink bottle isn't empty at all. It's full of invisible ink. Not very strong, but not bad.
Those
Good to
oysters
know.
are... Alexander doesn't want to waste his invisible ink. A thing like that might come in handy. Alexander examines the small bottle and determines that the invisible ink is indeed invisible.
And there we go. Once again, King's Quest VI manages to convey an important detail to you, whereas I feel that other King's Quest games would have just
Alexander
made you figure
pulls
that
out-
out trial and error.
Yeah, they would have just been like an empty bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I
they
do
would have looked
think
at it and
that
it appears empty. Sorry.
Alexander feels...
There's a little bit of risk with like stuff like this that the player will not think to use all of their verbs on the inventory items, because usually it's just like use item on thing in the environment as opposed to hand on item in environment though. But I still appreciate the effort to actually like communicate at all as opposed to not at all.
I'm glad we're back on the Suha Offen timeline.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Well, you don't sound very happy.
How fare you, good merchant?
Thankfully, I fare better than my business. My shop is as silent as the moon these days.
How fare...
I swear I thought
How
he
very-
said
I
something.
cannot complain. I hope your travels are treating you well, Prince Alex.
How fare...
I cannot...
He always sounded so bummed compared to his old good day. And so I thought that like Alhazred came around and had a talk with everybody or something. Like I swear I remember something like that, but no, he seems fine.
I found this bottle in the pot outside.
That would make sense, since that is where I dumped it.
I
love that he's like, yeah, weirdo, I threw it out.
Would you be interested in making a trade for this, merchant?
A sentence? I wouldn't have any idea what to do with that.
Would you be interested in making a trade for this, merchant?
I have little call for love poems in these stressful times.
What a shame.
If they're stressful times, maybe a love poem is exactly what you need.
Yes.
Would you be interested in making a trade for this, merchant?
A rabbit's foot. I do not believe I could use that.
I just want to hear him say everything.
Would you be interested in trading for this book?
I am afraid not. Books are more my neighbor's line of work. After all, I would not want him selling curiosities.
I like when they talk about each other. Oh,
I like when they gossip.
I'd like to trade this magic map back for my family ring, please.
As you wish, Prince Alex.
Oh.
I suppose you have had enough adventuring for now, eh?
Perhaps. Thank you, merchant.
So you could get your ring back if you needed it.
If Alexander wants to exchange one of his possessions...
Can I trade you my ring for the magic map again, merchant? I'm afraid I'm still in need of it.
Of course.
Okay, well now I'm curious about what happens if I just give him the pearl after I've gotten my ring back.
As you wish.
Perhaps.
Probably just slight variance in the dialogue.
I found this large pearl on another island. Might it be enough to get back the magic map and keep my ring too?
I have never seen such a perfect pearl. Certainly, the pearl alone is worth the price of the map.
Thank you. I'm relieved to have a means of travel again.
This is brand new to me. Oh my god. Hold on.
Well, there you go.
I'll just... So I want to hear the old dialogue that I'm used to hearing. I've never done that before.
This will be the most thorough episode
I'm sorry.
of King's Quest VI anywhere on the internet.
I found this large pearl. Might it be valuable enough to ransom back my family ring?
I have never seen such a perfect pearl. Certainly you can have your ring back.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't sell it. I'm a bit attached to it, I'm afraid.
Of course you are. You would be cold-hearted if you felt any differently. I am happy to see a family heirloom back with its rightful owner.
That's the dialogue that I know.
Yes, yeah. I'm excited that I found something that I hadn't heard before. But it doesn't matter.
You don't even need to restore because like the exact same situation.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just overly cautious, as you've noticed.
I've never seen a pearl like this. The oyster must have been miserable.
I will be right up.
Ooh, that oyster must have suffered greatly.
What can I do for you?
You know, come to think of it, before you go any further, the whole, like, chain of events with Giallo is kind of where the name of this series came from for me.
Oh?
So, I'm pretty sure I told the story once before, but when I was a teenager, I was still playing these games because I love them very much. And, even though they were important to my dad, like, he had played through them too. But, like, I would talk about them a lot with him, like, even as I was, like, growing up and even as an adult. And I had been replaying King's Quest VI, and I managed to screw up the Giallo quest line. And I was in that unwinnable state. And I was telling my dad about it one day when he was visiting. And I says, I managed to screw it all up, and I couldn't finish the game after that. And he says, well, couldn't you just go back to an earlier save? And I said, well, I've been saving over the same save file the whole time. And he shook his head and with the utmost genuine sincerity said to me, son, I taught you better than that.
Oh, that's so cute.
So,
I love that.
So
there's no reason to...
That is why I save often.
Merchant,
I love
would you be interested in this?
No, thank you. I deal only in books.
Those are words.
The shopkeeper doesn't look like he would enjoy a good arm wrestle or any other sort of physical exertion. He's rather bookish. An odd-looking man is reading in the stuffed chair. He wears a vest, balloon-style pants, and pointed shoes. There's something deliberately silly about the man, as though he were a performer of some sort.
I like the phrase deliberately silly.
Good day, sir.
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard
I
of
never
Daventry?
noticed that until the last time we played.
Flip mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cosima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here?
Why, by a ship now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cosima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes,
What did she say
I saw
about
her
me?
briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, the Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the wazir says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jalo. I am clown to the royal court, and had been since the marriage of Cosima's parents, King Calipham and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Cosima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Wazir or his plans for Cosima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Cosima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later.
Thank you for speaking with me, Jalo. I hope we meet again soon.
What a silly little walk.
A silly little man.
Maybe married. I don't know. I don't know what his status is.
It's not really any of our business, but you know, I still want to know.
It's
Jalo,
my
come
business.
back.
I want to know who his lover is.
In addition to Rick's story about, can we just follow him all the way to the castle?
Absolutely.
You can, yeah.
I always do. Or I always did. I love that he's like, if only I could find Thing, and then she's like, right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm just too worried to pay attention to my surroundings.
Good day, Jalo. Greetings, my fine furred friends.
Now, you've done this before, right, David?
I don't think that I've followed Jalo to the castle before.
Oh, well, there you go. It's a little something for you.
Wow. So in addition to Rick's story about his dad telling him to save often, I think that one thing that probably further cemented the term is just Zork Grand Inquisitor made a whole meme out of the whole notion.
Oh yeah, I mean the concept of saving often. I mean I think it was even like every death message in Leisure Suit Larry 2 said save early, save often. Mm-hmm. But when I was developing the channel originally and I was trying to come up with a name for the series, that particular memory was in my mind. So it's kind of an homage to my father.
Bird-sized wig. I'm sorry, I'll get back to
Alexander holds out the love poem to the nightingale, hoping that she perhaps is the nightingale that Jalo spoke of, and that she might be able to take the words of love to her mistress, Cosima. The nightingale swoops down and grabs the poem. She flies off towards the castle, perhaps to Cosima?
Sing Sing, what have you found? A scrap of paper? Oh, this is no mere bit of paper, but words of love. Who sent this? It must have been Abdul. Oh, Sing Sing, will he never give up? You must be careful, pretty bird. Stay away from Abdul. I don't trust him so close to you. Now go!
The little bird returns to her branch without the poem. Alexander wishes he knew what happened to his message of love.
Now let's see if I can do this in the reverse order.
There's no reason.
Uh-oh.
Alexander holds out his royal ring, hoping that the bird will deliver it to the same place she took the poem, in the chance that the receiver might be Cosima. The nightingale swoops down, grabs the ring, and takes it towards the castle.
got in your mouth, my pretty? A gold ring? Sing Sing, where did you get this? Realm of Daventry. But this is Alexander's ring. Oh, my soul, he must be here.
Now, how does she know that?
Sing Sing, I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here then, on this very island? Oh, if only I could leave this castle as easily as you. Take this ribbon, Sing Sing. If you know where he is, return it to him. Please be careful, Alexander. It is so dangerous, and yet I could not wish you away.
Okay, so you can do this, but you can't do it ideally then? Is that...
You don't get the note from Cosima if you do it in this order.
Yeah, so...
Alexander holds out his insignia ring to the nightingale, hoping she perhaps is the nightingale that Giallo spoke of, and that she might be able to take the ring to Cosima. The ring is the one thing he has that might alert Cosima to his presence on the Isles. The nightingale. She flies off towards the castle, perhaps to Cosima.
Sing Sing, what have you got in your mouth, my pretty? A gold ring? Sing Sing, where did you get this? Realm of Daventry. But this is Alexander's ring. Oh, my soul, he must be here.
Soul?
Sing Sing, I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here then, on this very island? Oh, if only I could leave this castle as easily as you. Take this ribbon, Sing Sing. If you know where he is, return it to him. Please be careful, Alexander. It is so dangerous, and yet I could not wish you away.
Look at it, drops it into the dirt.
The little bird makes a delivery. The nightingale has dropped a bit of red velvet on the ground. The nightingale's It's a red velvet hair ribbon. Could it be? Could it possibly belong to Cosima herself?
Could it be? So much her brand.
Wishing it were so. Oh.
Could it really, truly be?
Or am I merely wishing so?
Alexander examines the red ribbon and finds a strand of long black hair.
Alexander smells the ribbon. It smells just like he remembers all those months ago.
It still smells like Mordak's kitchen.
Still bears a trace of perfume.
Oh, he's smelling it! Just imagine Alexander with a single hair, like, under his nostrils, like...
like, oh yeah, that's the stuff.
The saddest... I'm sorry. Just a single strand of hair. Oh my god. Okay. What the fuck was I going to do? Oh, right. Okay.
Alexander holds out the love poem. The nightingale swoops down, grabs the love poem, and takes it towards the castle.
Sing Sing, my sweet, you bring another present. Let me see. It is a poem, Sing Sing.
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and through, and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you?
The narrator only reads it here, that much.
Oh, Alexander.
Alexander!
I turn to you. Take this to him while he waits. Hurry, my fleet one.
The little bird makes a delivery. It's a note.
Dearest Alexander, I cannot believe you are here, my friend. Please, please be careful. Abdul isn't about to let anyone interfere with his plans. Watch out for Abdul's genie, Alexander, and do not do anything rash. I am not without resources, and I will prevail if I can only find some small means of defense. Do nothing to try to get to me. You must not be endangered again for my sake. Greatly in your family's debt, Cosima.
Alexander's hand trembles as he reads the note. For the first time in his long search, he has heard her voice again, if only in writing. No words of love, only friendly concern. Friend. Is the maiden merely shy, or does she regard him only as a brother?
Or am I only wishing it were so? I'm sorry, little King's Quest 4 humor for you. I want to see what it says about the note on the ground. Sorry, I have to do this just for me. God, was it here? Yeah, okay. I like that they want to do their best to make sure you notice the snake, even though it's like so obvious. I have to play that sound effect twice.
Take.
She's just hissing. Alright. Wonder what happens if I don't pick up the ribbon.
The little...
And then I do this.
There's no reason... Alexander...
I always love the way she blushes after she reads that poem.
Nightingale...
Sing... It is a...
What was it?
Oh, Alexander. I was hoping he'd...
Imagine if she'd written you a dirty note. Oh. Or does it always place it there?
The little bird...
Yeah.
Okay.
The nightingale has dropped a...
Alright. Okay. I think... Oh, no, wait, never mind. I gotta travel a little bit more. I love the way his shoulders shake when he walks forward. I'm sorry, go on.
I was just going to comment on the name of our antagonist, Abdul al-Hazred.
Alexander, if
you know, as part of the Orientalism kind of guilty of Sierra, like, my understanding is that Abdul is not actually like a normal name. Like, the whole name is kind of derived from H.P. Lovecraft's work
the feather.
For the character of the Mad Arab, which,
you
know... Oh my god.
The granite...
Lovecraft is not known for his, racial sensitivity.
Yeah. I just realized I didn't look at anything while it was on the fucking ground. My bad. The thing is, Abdul is usually like, it's like, it means like Abd, like worshipper of, and it's usually paired with like the names of God. So it'll be like, or attributes of God, right? Like the 99 names of God. So like, Abdul Jabir, Abdul Muttalib, like there's a Abdul whatever, like some quality of God, basically. It's never just because Abdul is just worshipper of what, like
of Al-Hazred, obviously.
Shit, sorry, it took me a minute.
Abdul Scimitar, obviously.
There's an ugly flower growing near the base of the cliff.
Ugly?
Alexander notices an unusually large coal-black feather lying on the beach. Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor. For a moment, he can smell nothing else.
Imagine putting that in your pocket and all your belongings smelling like that.
Alexander contemplates touching the flower, but doesn't want to get the flower's stench on his hands.
Put that next to the mint and then give it to the old man.
Alexander colors of flame burst from the center of the incredibly stinky flower and drip onto its petals. The flower's appearance is as flamboyant as its smell.
He called it ugly, but I think it looks cool.
This incredibly unsexy flower.
Alexander takes the feather.
I shouldn't do this, but I've always done it this way.
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
I'm sure he said the same thing, right?
There appears to be huge blocks of stone erupt from the granite cliffs.
So these are the cliffs of logic. There are several puzzles that we have to solve to get to the top of this mountain, and this was King's Quest VI's copy protection.
Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome.
Much of this is going to be derived directly from the manual.
Alexander.
I always had that solution memorized, and so I'd always do it as soon as I got there.
Oh, I see. So you're not going up the mountain.
Alexander feels...
Not yet. I feel like I should wait and do it in order, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to do that. Oh, okay. Never mind. All right. Well, come back later.
What were you hoping for?
You know what? Actually, there's one thing I can do still. Ooh, a lamp.
An old abandoned hunter's lamp is hanging on one of the trees. Alexander wonders who might have hunted in these dense woods. A pond lies across the path. The water boils as if over some magical flame. A rabbit hops about rather fearlessly. It's probably never even seen a human. An old abandoned hunter's lamp. A pond lies... This heavily forested isle is dotted with rough granite rocks.
Rocks.
Alexander is traveling on a path through a dense forest. The woods on either side of the path are teeming with wildlife. Blocking his progress north is a pond that boils with a magical intensity. The forest.
Ouch! That water is hot.
Alexander decides to brave the boiling pond. And soon realizes a deep sympathy for soup vegetables as he learns the true meaning of being in a stew.
That's fucking horrifying.
Tickets only. Next.
So with the way he sinks...
Looks like Alexander's in a bit of a stew.
Is the implication that you just melt in the pond?
Yeah, because
Alexander
like when you come back later, you know it's like that pond's only like ankle deep.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it must be. I was initially thinking, oh, it's burned his legs, and now he's just falling down, but no. Oh, my God, that's horrifying.
Alexander.
Remind me when we do
hears
Isle
someone
of the
coming.
Sacred Mountain to look around. I forgot to look around at the cliffs in the water, I think.
Mm-hmm.
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If mad it be, then mad it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.